The Epitaph of Twilight, sometimes rendered Epitaph of the Twilight, or just the Epitaph, is an epic poem written by Emma Wieland. It tells the story of a race of sprites, beings that cast no shadows, who are being devoured by a foe known as the Cursed Wave. When all seems lost, the armies of light and darkness forge an alliance to strike back against it. According to legend, when the Cursed Wave appears, 3 beings with shadows will set out in search of the Twilight Dragon, who is foretold to have the power to defeat the Cursed Wave. The main story of the Epitaph centers around a human and 2 half-sprites with shadows who search for the Twilight Dragon. Halfway through their journey to the Wavering Peninsula at the edge of the world, where the Twilight Dragon is rumored to exist, they are assisted by Philly the White and Magi the Black, servants to Apiron, King of Light, and Helba, Queen of the Dark. The original version of the Epitaph was published on Emma Wieland's personal website and never completed. The site had special security measures that kept people from normally saving, printing, or copying the text for themselves. Because of this, and because few people noticed the work until after her death, the original was thought to be lost, though some copies and notes, as well as a purported hard copy, remained. Supposedly, the story of the Epitaph was used as the setting for Fragment, a game by the programmer Harold Hurwicz, which later formed the basis for the world. However, since this was still only based on fragments of knowledge, much of the world's setting was created by the CyberConnect Corporation. It is often unknown which elements of the game came from the Epitaph, and which were additions. The text of the Epitaph was also added to a black box system in the game by Harold for the development of Aura, the ultimate AI, and was discovered by Aina and Oven within the Creator's Room. Since the original Epitaph was lost, it is impossible to know how close the copies are to the original, though small pieces remain. Even in the real world, fan versions of the Epitaph float around. The passage of the Epitaph, seen at the beginning of Hack Infection, was translated into Japanese by Norikazu Fuji. The Epitaph is said to begin at Navel of Lake, also known as the hidden forbidden holy ground in the world. The following are the known fragments of the Epitaph. This is the Epitaph outlined. We will, however, be reading the actual pieces of it in other videos. It should be known that while we do not own the .hack series, this Epitaph will be used as inspiration for our future plans, with Project Nona, conversation turning away from the fields. The conversation between Apeiron, King of Light, and Elba, Queen of Darkness, at Navel of Lake. Before the threat of the Cursed Wave, the 2 form an alliance. Tells of the time until the 3 travelers, including Saya, the first being with a shadow found by Magi the Black and Bith the White, set off in search of the Twilight Dragon. Lilith, the travelers, the dividing forest, shining eyes, the night sprite, Lilith, who is pursued by the dark. The reason Gendor the Tall participates in the search. Crossing through the forest where all get lost, the dividing forest. In the swamp, the first contact with the ancient monster Cubia. Saved from this danger by Lilith, the 3 shadowed ones, the seekers of the Twilight Dragon, gather here. Plaid the Sorrowful, the Crystal Hill Light's great tree, the 3 seekers, Bith and Magi, come to the city of Arche Heyoka in a reunion with Magi's old friend, Plaid, a sprite who wanted to become human. The reason why Magi serves the dark becomes clear. The rebellion of the Crystal Hill. In a meeting with Doran, who sleeps near Light's great tree, they learn that if they go to the Wavering Peninsula beyond the end of land, which is past the Keel Mountains, they may be able to learn the whereabouts of the Twilight Dragon. and that the only one who knows the way there is Tartarga, who is in the true underworld. Skunk reunion, the bewitching spirit of the desert. They obtain Skunk's tear jar to protect themselves from Tartarga's guardian, Tortets. In the Desert of the Dark, they meet again with Gendor's companions, who have come fleeing the wave. Tells of the bewitching spirit who dreamed of a desert where the world tree grows. The Dark Hearth, unknown. Tartarga, the former inhabitant of the boiled underworld lake, called the Dark Hearth. Meeting with Tartarga in the true underworld. They learn that the way to the end of land lies within the great temple of Arche-Koln, in the land of the beginning of beginnings, but pursued by Tortets, become lost in the tunnels of the underworld. The dream of Lazeth, the great waterfall. Wandering in the maze, the group has come out of the tunnels in the worst place, the forest of everlasting darkness, and are trapped in Lazeth's dream. Within the dream, they encounter Kubia again. Saya's familiar and Kubia annihilate each other. Opening the seal on the great waterfall, they come to the great temple of Arche-Koln. Tells of the awakening of Genda's sleeping powers in the living maze. Gate at the end of land, the wave comes, the Keel Mountains. The group meets the gatekeeper of the end of land. At the same time, Helba's palace of darkness falls to the abominable wave. Apiron's army leaves the palace of light. Not waiting to see the dragon, the king of light and queen of darkness move their armies against the wave, unknown. The dragon sighted the night before, encounter with an ape wearing a hat, and the formation of the armies of light and dark at the foot of the rainbow, the lake of Alba, which perished in a battle, and the riddle-asking dragon, Sheraton. The group finally reaches the wavering peninsula. There, Saya's group parts ways with Magi and Bith, the retreat of the armies of light and dark, and their formation for the final battle ends with the return of Magi and Bith to Helba, and Apiron tells of the situation on the eve of the decisive battle. Twilight Dragon, an ending incomplete. Finding the Twilight Dragon and the fife that signals the start of the last battle. The dragon's unexpected words. Before the wave, Magi becomes a point of light and vanishes. The sprites who risk their very existence in their hopeless fight against the wave. Dialogue between Saya's group and the dragon. The currently confirmed manuscript ends in the middle of this dialogue. Epitaph of the Twilight, also partly heard at the Hidden Forbidden Holy Ground and read by Aina in the GU Games. Yet to return, the Shadowed One, who quests for the Twilight Dragon, rumbles the Dark Hearth, and Helba, Queen of the Dark, has raised finally her army. Apiron, King of Light, beckons. At the base of the rainbow do they meet against the abominable wave. Together they fight. Alba's lake boils. Light's great tree doth fall. Power, now all to droplets, turned in the temple of Arche-Koln, returns to nothing this world of shadowless ones. Never to return, the shadowed one, who quests for the Twilight Dragon. The faces in the epitaph found, in an email by Wiseman unknown, where the cursed wave was born. After the stars doth cross the heavens, the sky in the east doth darken, and air doth fill with mourning. From the chosen land beyond the forest, a sign of the wave comes. Riding the wake is Skaith, the shadow of death, to drown all that stands. Mirage of deceit, Innis, betray all with the flawed image, and did aid the wave. And by the power of Magus, a drop from the wave doth reach the heavens, and creates a new wave. With the wave, Fitchel, the power to tell the dark future. Hope darkens, sadness and despair rule. Gore schemes when swallowed by the cursed wave. Matcha seduces with the sweet trap. Wave reaches the pinnacle, and escape none can. Tarvos still remains with more cruelty to punish and destroy. And with the turbulent destruction after the wave, only a void remains. From deep within the void arrives Korbanik. Perhaps then the wave is just a beginning as well. Notes. This is the only part of the epitaph to appear verbatim in .hack. Epitaph of Twilight. It is found in an ancient text in Apeiron's archives.